You are now listening to the HBCU Wall Street podcast.
So, we are here with the amazing, infamous Morgan Jones, FlowerChild, give it life.
Bloom, give it life.
Bloom,
Yes.
give it life.
Okay.
So, absolutely. So we're about to have fun today. So I'm gonna tell the people a little bit about you.
Okay.
So much, but just telling people a little bit about you. So of course, you graduated from the illustrious North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University back in 2003.
Yes.
With a bachelor's degree in professional theater.
Yes.
You're a 22-year,
Bachelor of Fine Arts.
Bachelor of Fine Arts in professional theater. My bad. 22-year theater educator.
Yes.
That's huge. The CEO of FlowerChild Productions, Inc., providing creative services for film, theater, and the founder of the 501c3, investing in creative genius and raw talent since 2001. You 2 decades in this thing.
Yes.
So that's just a little bit about it. I'm excited because I want the people to know who FlowerChild is.
Awesome.
FlowerChild is
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
No problem. So FlowerChild is definitely a friend of mine. We are excited through the podcast, but a personal friend of mine. So we're doing this because we want to highlight successful Aggies. We want to highlight entrepreneurial minded Aggies. But I want to start off and I want you to tell, I read your bio, told people who you were, on paper, but I want you to tell me, if you could, in 2 to 3 sentences, if you could tell someone who is FlowerChild, what would you say? Tell the people who FlowerChild is.
FlowerChild is a motivator. FlowerChild is an inspirational influencer, a creative, a visionary. I also so into a lot of artists, younger artists, the youth. I find creative geniuses and I create opportunities for them to shine, for them to flourish, whether that be in film, theater, in their personal walks, artistic entrepreneurs. And so that's what I love to do. Through my direction, producing, writing, choreography, I like to, I also mentor a lot of raw talent. And so when I find raw talent, I push them in the forefront and I motivate and encourage them to be the best artists that they could possibly be. In a nutshell.
Got it. Then we're going to, so I think, and so I want to just say personal testimony. Like, I know you're amazing with cultivating raw talent. You're amazing with cultivating, you can see something. And I love this about you as an artist, which any artist, like an artist can see a block of wood and in their mind, they see a sculpture. Our artists can see a blank wall and in their mind, they see a painting, like the vibrant moving. Like an artist can, like, and I know it personally, an artist can hear a tune and they hear a song immediately, like they know. And so, like, you have an amazing gift to be able to see what other people can't see. And often being an artist and a visionary, you're able to bring things to life that other people didn't even know existed. And I want to just say really quick plug for you. I appreciate you and your talent so much. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, you were having a workshop for kids, where you were, kind of coaching and mentoring kids, in theater and dance.
Yes.
And I remember I took my, I signed my daughter up for that. And I remember after that, like, it was the most amazing thing. Like, after coming from this class, my daughter, it was kind of hard to break her out of her shell. And I remember her saying, "Daddy, I really want to act." Like, after that, we were in the car driving, which is, I really want to act. Like, I'm really excited about that. And here's the funny thing. The funny thing about that is, I'm like, she's so much like me. So, and I'm not going to go into too much about me, but as a kid, I even to this day, sometimes, like, I can have a straight face. I can be very expressive, but at times I can have a straight face and be extremely happy, or I can have a straight face and be extremely angry. Like, and it's just all the
Right.
time I don't show my emotions. And my daughter's like that too. So like going through the class, like it was kind of hard to read her. Like, is she really enjoying herself? Does she like it? But you made a
Wow.
huge impact. And I'm like, if you make a huge impact on her, like you are doing something special, because she is not
Wow.
moved by too many people on the
That's
earth. Like
beautiful.
there's
I
not too
love
many people
that.
on the earth that can move her. So it's like,
Wow.
yo, Morgan is talented.
Thank
But
you so much.
no problem, no problem. But getting into who you are. So um you're an entrepreneur, you're an artist, you're a CEO, you're a visionary. And you're able to bring things to life. Like even the title of your company, FlowerChild.
Yes, that is our motto. I
Bloom,
live
give
by
it
it. It's a
life.
lifestyle.
Like it's a lifestyle. Like bloom, give it life. I love that
Yes.
because you're able to, like, you're the type of person that you see a seed, and most people, other people, like, oh, that's just a seed. But you see a
Right.
seed and you see a beautiful flower. You see a seed and
I
you see a strong
do.
oak tree. Like you see a
Yes.
seed and you see a forest.
Yes.
Like, and so I love the way you think. So let me ask you
Yes.
this: how long have you been that way?
Mm. Honestly, I believe it was the people that were my like my parents, my drama teacher who saw the seed, mentors that saw me as a seed, like what is it? What's on the inside of you? Like, why are you so quiet? Why are you sitting in the back of the room? Why aren't you
Mhm.
trying to get these opportunities like everyone else in this dance class? And I'm looking like, no, don't, call me out. And it was those people that became my mentors and my teachers, where I said, I have to give that back to my youth, and give that back to those who need my motivation. I can't explain why or how God gave that to me or when exactly it happened, but it happened really when I was at North Carolina A&T State University. I was coaching the Blue Rain, which was the basketball team, dance team during basketball season.
Mhm.
And there were these beautiful women who would come, students. I was a junior when I was choreographing, and I was watching them audition, and I would say, you give me more, give me more, give me more, do that again, but add some face. Now give me beautiful, give me pretty, soft face. And they were like, I didn't know I could do that, you know. So like the Blue Rain dance team became like a theatrical, dramatic basketball, halftime dance team. Like I remember doing
Mhm.
like ballet to Jay-Z, and everybody was like, what kind of dance team is this at A&T? And it became like a really great, people were like, what are they gonna do this week? And so that's where I coined my name, Flower Child, because those ladies and those my peers literally were like, how did you get me to do that? I didn't know I could dance like that or perform like that. So it was really A&T where I got that. Like I was like, oh snap, I can really, coach people into being the best performers that they could possibly be.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And I can relate to you on so many levels. Number one, because you know, people may not know, but in my former life, like I used to be a choreographer too. Like, so I used to
Yeah.
I used to do choreo for dance. I used to do choreo for
Yes.
step. I used to do like, so I've been dancing my entire life. Like I love it. Like it gives me just
Yes.
energy. And also when it comes to acting, like I've been acting since I was a kid, like being in plays since I
Love
was
it.
7, 8 years old. Like, and I
Yes.
loved it. Like I love to be able to bring characters to life. And I find that when you bring these characters to life, I think in acting, and I'll just say for me, being
Yeah.
in acting, being, and I've done a few movies, but being a method actor, like the most important thing to me is to know who I am as myself. Because
Yes.
acting is really all about an honest interpretation
Mm-hmm.
about this character. But in order for
Yeah.
you to be as honest as you can possibly be with this character, you have to be honest with who you are as a person. You have to
Yes.
know who you are as a
Yes.
person. And I think your breadth of what you've done is so much. Like, and I love it because it just like you're definitely a true artist. Like you're a raw artist, like
Thank
you
you.
scream artistry. Because when it comes to the dancing, when it comes to the, you know, the acting, when it comes to the
Acting.
directing, the
Yeah.
writing, like there's so many things you do, but it's
Mhm.
all around, it's all centered around the arts. And then you're an amazing businesswoman at the same
Yeah.
time. Like, and
Mhm.
so I think the first time I met you, like I know we're at T around the same time, but the first time we
Yeah.
actually had any interaction, I met you was at an event and where
Yes.
you had some dancers there. Like I was
Yes. I
speaking
was
at the event, but
choreographing.
you were choreographing some dances at the event. And I was like,
Yeah.
yo, like and I remember just seeing the dancers and my mind, like being a choreographer, I was like, yo, who choreographed this? Like who did this? Like
Right.
who did
Wow.
this? And I remember we met briefly, but it was just like it was so just expressive. It was so live. It was
Thank
so full of
you.
energy and life. And I'm like, yo, that's rare because, you know, sometimes people can, and I don't want to go too deep, but sometimes people
Mhm.
can create something and it
Mhm.
looks great to
Yes.
everybody else, but it has no soul, like, or no, it doesn't have that
That's my
thing that
job. I
exact. And
give it
that's why I
life.
said I want to know who this choreographer is because these dancers, like I understand leadership, like attitude reflects leadership. I understand this.
Yes.
Culture reflects leadership. So when
Oh
you
yeah.
see somebody doing something, whoever the leader is, it's going to be reflective. And so when I saw their dance performance, I was like, yo, whoever this is just a raw creative. Like, and they're
Thank
full of
you.
energy and life. Like you can tell from
Yes.
what's produced. And so
Right.
even as I got to know you, I was like, yep, that's Morgan. That's Morgan.
You
Like
can
there's
see
so
the
many.
signature. I have signatures. It's like
Yes.
a lot of different musical theater mixed with ballet, mixed with some, pop and lock. I just have a very unique style in which whatever's on the in my soul, if it feels good, it's going to come out, through my body. Whatever's in my brain, like it's coming from somewhere. It might be just what I did just now. I don't know where. I felt it. So, and
Right.
I want to give it to the
Gotcha.
people, I got to give it life. I can't keep it inside because once
Mm-hmm.
you keep things inside, you're not telling your story, and it's through stories that people live. It's through stories, it's through who we are that people live every day. And those who are just existing, I feel bad, and I'm like, here, let me give
Mm.
you a piece of what I'm feeling, because right now
Ooh.
you're just existing. And so God put
Absolutely.
us here, the chosen ones, to give life to others. you know if they can't see it, I'm going to give it to you. If you don't find it, I'm sorry. I love you, but time to move on to the next. Um, but that's why I begin
Gotcha.
with the youth, because the youth they're so honest, and they're like, show me, what am I doing wrong? Oh, look at me now. I'm on a movie. I was just
Mm-hmm.
sitting at the house playing video games last week. Now I'm on a movie. I'm on a red carpet, and all of these people are looking at my talent. So if we don't do that, where are they going to be when when we go on to our next, when I become a butterfly? I'm like, what are the youth going to be doing? They got to be able to take what I taught them to the next, group generation, and the next
Absolutely.
generation. And so, it's not our job to hold it in. We have to give. We got to give life
Absolutely.
to the next person who is chosen, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so just want the audience to know who they're talking to. I'm like, something I just want them to like, y'all gotta know who y'all dealing with right now. Like
Yeah.
you have created and directed multiple movies. Like you have been in and acted in multiple movies. Like you've been in Tyler Perry movies. Like
Yes.
you're no stranger to the genre. You're no stranger to the industry.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask you this. Now you have your own, you have several films out, but your
Mhm.
docu-film, Bloom Give It Life. How is Bloom Give It Life, the docu-film, how is it significant in the purpose of your nonprofit organization? Like what is the meaning of all of that?
So, Bloom Give It Life actually came from me during the pandemic. Okay.
Mhm.
My parents actually had all this footage of me as a child. Like the VHS came out, the camcorder when I was 7, 8 in the 80s, and they were in the music industry. So my parents had all this footage. They saved it all. You know, my siblings didn't have it because they're older. But once I was sitting with my film partner during the pandemic. I went to North Carolina. I was like, I just need to clear my head. Like, I can't sit in the house all day in quarantine. Like, just get me to my parents' house. And I was like watching the George Floyd, that whole thing was going on. And I was like, okay, I'm not out protesting. But I said, what am I going to do? Because I have a purpose in this world. And if I protest with everybody, I may or may not make a difference. But God chose me to be able to give life. So I said, why don't I take all the footage that I have and push it into the world at this time? While everybody's at home watching Netflix, watching Amazon Prime, watching movies online on their phones, right? So I was like, okay, I just started a nonprofit organization. I work with the youth. And I said, this also is going to give the youth what it needs to give. And so what they need to get actually, which was education, which was a push, some motivation, some inspiration at this time, instead of just sitting and watching trash. And I don't want to call other artists trash, but we are putting a lot of trash
Some are
in our children's brains, in their souls, and it's becoming a part of them. And if I don't take that step and take what God gave me and just put it out into the world, my nonprofit organization does not have a purpose. You see what I mean? So all that footage, I just took it all and I got some new footage and I went around and got interviews of my parents, my grandmother, my sister, my brother, different people that have worked with me, different artists that have been a part of my production company, and put all that together. And there was my film, Bloom, Give It Life. And now I give it to teachers, I give it to professors, I give it to young adults who want to be motivated, who want to be artists, who want to be entrepreneurial creatives. And it's like, here, you want motivation? Watch Bloom, Give It Life.
That is, let me tell you why that is so amazing, because a lot of times, so I truly believe that as a visionary, as a leader, when you see problems in the world, you see those problems in a different view, and you're able to see those problems, and those problems are brought into your view sight simply because you have the power to do something about it. Like, I understand that as a leader and as a visionary, when I see problems, it's because, okay, I can fix it. May not be able to fix it totally, but I can add to the solution. And so I think it's amazing.
I'm going to change the world. Like when I wake up, I believe that. And little by little, I see it happening. Whether it's one person, whether it's 20 people, 200, it's growing and it's growing. And so when you see that, growing every day, you're like, yeah, the world is changing, because, that's what I believe in. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I understand, in order to change the world, you first have to change yourself. Like, you first have to change who you are. You have to maximize who you are. And you are doing that. Like, you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk. You're maximizing who you are. Like, you're becoming this amazing, larger than life figure it's like almost like you're becoming an energy source, and you touch other people, they're magically just sprouted off, and they're magically just like energized.
And I don't know what it feels like to not have energy. I don't know what that feels like. And I think it confuses people, when they're like, are you ever sad? Are you ever not creative? Do you get tired? No.
That is amazing. That is a gift. That really is a gift. So I want to shift gears real quick. So again, you coming from the illustrious North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, the best university in the world. I stand on that. The best. But let me ask you this. So, quick question. If someone said, give me 2 to 3 sentences, explain to me, what is Jiho, what would you say to him?
At HBCU Wall Street, we're always looking for new ways to help each and every one of you reach your financial goals. With that in mind, we want to introduce you to Kinley. Kinley is a financial services company on a mission to level the playing field and help Black America build generational wealth. Kinley is a financial services company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank, member FDIC. By downloading the app and applying for a Kinley deposit account, you can get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit, enjoy no hidden monthly fees, including no minimum balances and no overdraft fees. Plus, you'll have overdraft protection up to $100 and so much more. Visit www.hbcwallstreet.com to download the app today.
University. It's very simple,
Absolutely.
honestly.
Very simple.
Love. Yeah.
It's interesting. I was talking to someone else and I was like, Jiho is like a huge family reunion / party that just lasts for days with everyone that you like and love and that you consider family. Like it's hard to put it in words. And I tell people, like, you have to experience it. I can't explain it to you. I can't explain it to you. But you
a lot, because like a lot of the theater majors that I want to see during Jiho, for instance, like Leland Thompson, he works for Netflix. He's coaching, Jennifer Hudson and Marlon Wayans, and he's, doing that. Then you got Zanya Johnson, who's on Broadway, and she's traveling all over the world. And a lot of times theater majors don't get to go to Jiho. I never really see, I haven't been in years. And I just came, for Aggie XL. Yes, the pregame, the financial
Aggies
pregame.
XL.
And the time before that was like 2018, 2019, when you did the event. So I'm always directing something. I'm always on stage. I'm always, working. So it's hard to get to Jiho as an entertainer. It's hard to get there. So
I agree.
Yeah.
and I want to thank you, and just to point out, like you mentioned it, definitely Aggies XL. So Aggies XL, was my baby, and it was like something, an idea that I had. I was like, listen, Jiho has no shortage of parties, but I want something that's going to bring together all the business minds at A&T. There's going to be able to be celebratory, networking. I can tell you, I've worked with so many people I've encountered through Aggies XL, through my business, like just networking, us partnering together. Like it's become a whole movement. And I want to say thank you, because the very first Aggies XL, you were one of the panelists. Like I was like, I thought about different panelists.
I was just like, wow. And it was so many people that I went to school, same years and all of that. And I was just like, wow, look at my fellow like peers doing their thing out here in the world, and I still, now we connected then, we're still talking now, and we have plans for the future. So when you make connections and you partner and you sow into, their success, and then they're sowing into your success, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. What can I learn from you? What can I learn from you? What can you teach me? How can we, monetize off this thing and like build like, the Black Wall Street, okay?
Listen, absolutely. That is what we're doing. And to speak of that, so definitely HBCU Wall Street and myself, like Torrance and Jamaris, like we have so many ideas. We're about to make some things really, really big. Like Aggies XL is about to be. Listen, it's about to be huge. I believe you.
I saw it. Yeah, I definitely did. I don't talk about my dreams much, but a lot of what I do in my business is because I saw this artist grow. I saw this artist become successful. I see people, God shows me, and I'll be like, God, what are you doing? So he's like, I need you to invest in this, and I need you to invest in that person. Now you're going to see this person in the grocery store. So I'm, when you go to Publix, just, be aware. So it's crazy. That's how I meet the talent that I sow into.
That is amazing. Like that is, and we're not going to get into that, but that is just, it speaks to your spirituality and how grounded you are and how tapped in you are to your spirituality to understand how things flow. And it like that alone gets me excited. But
that's
we're about to
nother,
listen. That's a whole nother conversation. We can talk about that for 4-5 hours. Like, but for everybody to understand Aggies Excel, we are playing some amazing things. Listen, AggiesXL.com. I'm telling you, just check it from time to time. And that's Aggies, the letter X, the letter L.com. From time to time, just check it because you're going to see some stuff. You're going to see amazing things we're going to bring out.
I'm excited.
Yes. But so let me ask you this. Now, I want to get your answer, your raw answer. Does art really represent real life? And you have a work called Playing a New Age Cabaret, excuse me. Mm-hmm. So Playing a New Age Cabaret, how does Playing a New Age Cabaret really represent life?
Ooh, I wrote Playing a New Age Cabaret when I was going through a bad divorce. So it really, I was in a depression state at one point. And so that depression led me to, and I didn't go see a therapist. I didn't cry and sulk. I wrote and created. I know I did a lot of paintings during that time. And so when I was writing, I literally based it off of my life. Loosely.
Wow.
I created some other characters. Some of the people that were in my life at the time, they were characters in the story. My mother used to show me like cabaret. She used to show me like stormy weather with, just amazing productions, and Shirley Temple, Little Rascals. And I put farce, larger than life characters, music, dance, song, a DJ. I put all of the elements of my life in this one production. I hadn't seen cabaret since I was a little girl, and I've never seen it with Black people, an actual cabaret. So I was like, when I finished writing it, I was like, Morgan, you just literally like made history. And people really don't realize that, because we have strayed into theater is not really, the Black community doesn't really understand traditional theater, because it's in the past, it's been Broadway. Broadway costs hundreds of dollars. So a lot of times Blacks could not afford Broadway. So Shelley Garrett, who was my mentor, he brought Broadway to the hoods. He died in 2018 while we were on tour, God rest his soul. But he actually showed me like, whatever's up there, Morgan, you can produce it and you can put it out into the world. And so his production is legendary and historical for being the highest selling theatrical production by a Black playwright in history. And nobody knows that because he's not in history books, so we don't talk about him. So I will, and I do, go look him up, Shelley Garrett. The Beauty Shop brand is all over. So we have to educate. I have to educate my kids, my youth. I'm a part of history. I was on a tour for, a Black like Broadway show. And that went all over the world, so 3 million in its first, couple of years. And I think that is what, real life is. Real art is all about real life. And so Plain follows Angela, who is in love. She's not getting the love in return. It's a love story, and she comes across these real people who help her to find herself. And so I was like, this is art. This is what art is supposed to be, and not all Black people are, from this area. Not all Black people make this amount of money. Not all Black people talk like this. So I wanted to show all our culture in a different light. I have some friends who talk very proper and very, grammatically correct. And I have some girlfriends that's very, I'm about to, what, and it's very much one of those productions where you see everybody that you know.
You
You know
do.
what I mean? And everyone is of a different socioeconomic level in my production. So you have to relate to the people. You know, I have a very large audience, but you got to be able to relate to everyone. And art definitely represents life, you know? So that's what playing a New Age Cabaret, that was the purpose, is to
Mm,
show people that they are represented everywhere in art.
absolutely. And I will say personally, like I thought it was an amazing production because I saw it. Like I came to see, you know, the
Yeah.
production. I saw playing and seeing it live. I was like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
it was so amazing because everything you said, the first thing that gripped me was number one, it was very entertaining, but it was so relatable. Like I could see myself in so many different
Yeah.
characters. Like I could
Awesome.
see myself in so many different situations. I'm like, this is
Right.
amazing. So you're right. Like art really does represent and imitate life, and I think you know
Mm-hmm.
it's that vice versa thing. And it, I love the way you portray art. I love the way you give
Thank
art such
you.
an authentic realness because some people, and I think it comes down to your reasoning and your reasons for creating the art. Because some people create art just to make money, just to get paid.
Oh
Some
yeah, of
people
course.
create art to inspire. Some people
Yes.
create art for just personal therapy. Some people
Right.
create art is created for so many different reasons, but I think the authenticity of what you create and how you create it is so real. And that's why
Thank
like
you.
your audiences are so captivated because
Mm-hmm.
it pulls them in. It's almost like, wow, that's me, and that's me, and that's me, and that's
Yes.
me, and that's me. And at the same time, it's so entertaining with the music and
Right.
like I'm like, wow, this was an amazing production. So
Thank
I want to
you.
give you props on that because that's amazing.
Thank
That's amazing.
you.
So let me ask you this, just because I want people to even know you talked a lot about what you've done, what you do, but Morgan the person,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody said, Morgan, I'm gonna give you $5,000
Okay. Mm-hmm.
one weekend, you can do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do? And you have to use the $5,000 all on yourself this weekend. What would you do?
All on myself.
All on yourself, not your production. You
Okay.
can't put it into the theatrical budget. It's just all on you.
I'm gonna tell you something I love to do. I love to eat. I'm going to I'm going to a dope restaurant. I know that. I'm going to a dope, like I love Asian cuisine. I love Thai food. I love Indian food. I love um any Asian dish. What else would I do? I would everything is so artsy with me. I'm more than likely would buy canvas and just paint. I would
Mm,
just paint. I would go to Hobby Lobby, get a lot of art supplies, and create art projects. With my wine, of course. I like to drink wine while I create. Um,
gotcha.
I'm an amusement park girl too. I love amusement parks, skating. I love to roller skate. And like these are things I don't do on a regular basis because I'm always creating.
Mhm,
Um, so yeah, and I love water. I would definitely
mm,
go away far to some water, to a beach, and just lay out, you know, on a beach somewhere. Definitely. And it doesn't matter where. I think God, just nature. I like creeks. I love to walk with my shoes off at the park, at the creek, whatever, you know. So I think that's what I would do with $5,000. Get on my car
absolutely.
and go experience some amusement parks, some good food, and a beach.
Sounds great to me. Sounds great. Like I'm a foodie too. Like I love to eat. I love to eat. I love
Yes.
nature. I love creating. So that would be amazing. Like I think, yo, you're gonna have to do that. You know what I think you should? I think you should make a goal to just one weekend this week, just say, hey, this is Morgan's weekend. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna do
Yes.
all the things that I just want to do. I'm gonna shut
I
off
am gonna do
business.
that.
Do it. Do it. It's
Yeah.
necessary.
I've been thinking about that lately. So
Got it. So let me ask you this. Is there anything else that you would want people to know about you that they may not know? Like if someone said, just tell me who you are, like in a few sentences, like how would you describe yourself or how would you want people to know
um I would want people to know that I'm very, very consistent. I love organization. Um, Even like home decoration. I'm a creator when it comes to, things of like mental space. Um, I'm fun. I'm just outgoing. I'm very bubbly. First thing in the morning, I'm bubbly. Last thing at night, I'm bubbly.
Okay.
And I love the youth and I love people. And yeah, I'm like girl next door, simple. And I think people probably
Gotcha.
think I'm very complex and all over the place, but I'm not. I'm a homebody. I love movies. I'll sit and watch TV all day if I could.
Gotcha. Good stuff. Now, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your presence. Tell people how they can find you. Like, what are your social media handles, website? How could people
Oh,
find you?
yes. So if you look Morgan FlowerChild everywhere, Morgan FlowerChild on LinkedIn, Morgan FlowerChild on Instagram, flowerchildlife.com is my website. You can actually hashtag Bloom Give It Life anywhere on Google, any site. You can hashtag Morgan FlowerChild to find me, and you can hashtag FlowerChild Productions Incorporated to find me.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate it because I believe once this airs, there are going to be a lot of people like, oh, how can I find this flower child? Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to just the more amazing things that are going to come from FlowerChild Productions.
Yes. Thank you.
And we're just going to see where life leads you. So again, awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the listeners tuning in.
And HBCU Wall Street, thank you as well. I appreciate
it.
Aggie Pride all
Aggie
day.
Pride. Well, we are gone and we will see you all later. You all have fun. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Ambitious, audacious, creative, HBCU educated, fearless, original, unapologetic entrepreneur investor. That's a great shirt.
HBCUWallStreet.com.